Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals. With that, let's get up to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. For the call, we bring in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the Queen City of Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium right on the banks of the Ohio River. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with the Jacksonville Jaguars. With you from the booth, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. A CDR matchup here. A couple of teams last year that were really pretty similar. Both under 500, both missed the playoffs, and they both think that they can turn things around in 2019.
Yeah, how about 2018, though? A case of the haves and the have-nots. In 16-game seasons in the NFL, for the first time last year, no one finished 8-8. Now, you know that in baseball, basketball, other sports, turnarounds can take 3, 4, 5 years. In football, could just be a few months.
Josh Lambo now ready to put this one in the air. And we are underway from Cincinnati. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Cincinnati Bengals offense trots onto the field. There's their quarterback, Andy Dalton. And this team 0-5 right now, coming off the loss to Arizona 26-23 last week. Andy Dalton 27-38 in that game, 262 yards and 2 touchdowns. In fact, he's less than 500 yards away now from 30,000 in his career. But without A.J. Green and last week no John Ross, it's been really tough for Dalton to distribute the football. And it's gotten this team, as I said, to an 0-5 start.
Hands up, 18! Right there, 56. Here we go.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. Here now the offense for the Bengals.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter and can outrun people, catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think that if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
This is Joe Mixon, fourth in the NFL in rushing last season. Calais Campbell on the stop. And time to take a look at the Jaguar defense.
One of the best names in the NFL, Yannick Ngakoue, is one of the better pass rushers in the NFL as well. Back-to-back seasons with 9 sacks or more, he puts pressure on quarterbacks each and every snap.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3-and-out here on 3rd and 4. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He's got his man, Boyd. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Check 56.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That's one where you probably give the ball carrier a bit of a mulligan, right?
Yeah.
Where was he going to go there?
Yeah, you could almost see his brain turning over from our perspective. Just put your foot in the ground and go, except there was no place to put his foot in the ground, and there was no place to go. No room to roam.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing.
On second down now, Bernard. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
To throw here, Dalton. And that will be incomplete.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Back deep for the Jags, D.D. Westbrook. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Gardner Minshew and Jacksonville, their offense taking the field here. Coming off the loss last week on the road at Carolina 34-27. But focusing on Minshew, the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for September. And in that game against the Panthers, 26 of 44, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. But 3 lost fumbles, including one that went the other way for a 56-yard touchdown return that ultimately doomed the Jags in that loss at Carolina.
Come on, set. 10-2 start. Hey. 4 down.
They go with Leonard Fournette, 3rd-year back from LSU. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Now the offensive unit now for the Jaguars.
And here comes Leonard Fournette, the big, and I mean big, tailback out of LSU. When he takes the ball inside, people make decisions about whether they want to tackle him or not, and he has enough speed to get to the perimeter and outrun defensive backs. When he puts it all together, he makes the Jaguars' offense very difficult.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Fournette running right. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Break. 52's the mic. Here we go, D. Here I come again.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball and pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short. That's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school smash mouth football. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Leonard Fournette. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Strong safety Sean Williams really bounced back from injuries in previous seasons to post one of the best years of his NFL career. 5 interceptions in 2018, led the league in interception return yards, provides great veteran leadership, and some real thump coming from his spot in the secondary.
60 Pittsburgh.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. Minshew throwing on third down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. On fourth down, on is Logan Cook to punt. Alex Erickson deep for Cincinnati. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. Cincinnati now ready to take the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. First and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He completes it to Tate. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
On first down, Mixon. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 4 yards the pickup, first down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away.
Miles Jack can just flat out cover. Doesn't matter who's out there, and he can do it really well in man. How about what he just did there in zone, though? Eyes in the right place, saw where the ball was going, reacted appropriately, and knocked it away.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Marcel Darius flies in at 331 pounds for the sack.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. He completes it to Boyd. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. Jacksonville's offense taking the field here again. And, you know, we were talking earlier about Gardner Minshew. Really has acquitted himself quite nicely, and this offense has done well. Now, normally Jacksonville known for their defense, but this season with Minshew and DJ Chark, who's been off to a great start, 8 catches, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns in Week 5, but it was a loss to the Carolina Panthers because the defense really had no answer for Christian McCaffrey and company, and that dropped Jacksonville to 2-3. And next up, home against the Saints. Then they go to Cincinnati and then back home for the Jets as they try to get their winning ways going. And some room to maneuver. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only they're controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. They keep it with Fournette on first down. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. And that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack. But I love his suddenness, the ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone and into the offensive backfield. He's a heck of a player.
And they're a big TFL, tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father, Gene Atkins, was an NFL defensive back. He's bred this big defensive tackle.
Ready? 60 outlaw.
Hey, tight down. There you go.
On second and 12, Minshew. And his throw is incomplete. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook. And that takes us from second to third down. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun is Minshew. Open man is Westbrook, complete. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Jaguars. D.D. Westbrook, 71 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Josh Lambo now for the point after. And this is up and good. The score now 7-0 Jaguars. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it culminates in a Jags touchdown. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll begin here with Bernard. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Dalton. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. He's got his man. This is Tate. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 8 yards, 1st down as they're able to convert.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and they picked up a 1st down for him, too.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, team. It's going to be a long.
Operating from the gun, Dalton. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Willis. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Dalton. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton got his man. It's Eifert. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. Bullock's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Get up, 50, plant.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
52 right here. I'm here all day.
Get it. Go.
Fournette. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Set. 10 Lobo. Run. Clear. 2.
Fournette, a first down carry. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Run coverage excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
Go now. 60 or.
52, come on. It's our time. It's our time.
Get up.
On 2nd and 11 now. Minshew. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Fournette running out of the gun. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it. That's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Fournette on the counter. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So a good run by Fournette. Now another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Touchdown, Jaguars. is Leonard Fournette, 30 yards. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Lambeau to add on the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And a long run there in the end to top it off. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. All right, let's focus now on Giovanni Bernard. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Dalton now to pass. Throw left side complete. It's Willis.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Dalton gives to Bernard. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and break it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
Gets it to his running back, Bernard. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his legs.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Andy Dalton now, 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. Jet sweep, Boyd with it. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
56. Mike, 56.
On 2nd down, Bernard trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. Okay, 2nd and 1, you get nothing. What now on 3rd and 1?
Sorry about that. I was so excited I jumped in on you. This is almost like practice to me. Line it up and do it again. You didn't get it right the first time. Just get right back on the ball and go. It doesn't matter that they know you're coming. You ought to be able to pick up this short yardage.
Yeah, boy, a good surge defensively. It'll depend on the mark, but I'm not sure he got there.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This from 54 yards away. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. Charles, 54 yards, I'm surprised that came up short.
I would agree with that one because normally, if he misses, it's accuracy, not length, because he has plenty of leg for that. But maybe it's like I hit my golf shot, you know, maybe it's like my wedge. You know, when you chili dip and you hit the ground ahead of it, sometimes that'll shorten your distance as well.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On the draw, this is Fournette. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Now Fournette. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
Here we go. Set. 70. Indy. And let's go.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop.
On the set.
52's the mic.
Ready, set, go.
A shotgun give to Fournette. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Get it. Play.
This is Fournette. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Going with Armstead, a first down carry. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Ready.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, Minshew. Oliver, the tight end, making the catch. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there.
Here we go. 60 outlaw.
Let's go, let's go.
On the run, it's Fournette. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Minshew. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Getting the sack, the big D tackle, Geno Atkins.
Enough to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough task here, though. 3rd and long. Off play action, it's Minshew. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, Jags kicker Josh Lambo comes on. This one from 35 yards away. The kick by Lambo is good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
Huh? You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambo to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Get a little closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. A good gain there on 1st down. That run will get them 7 up to the 32-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Hands up. 318. Hands up.
A draw play. Bernard. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Brandon, that play certainly felt like what I call a tendency breaker. 1st and 10, they dial up a draw play. That's not a normal situation, but give credit to the defense. They weren't fooled at all and really finished off the play.
Waiting.
Check. Switch. 44.
On second down, here's Mixon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Operating from the gun, Dalton. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Jags and Leonard Fournette making their way onto the field. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. They begin with a run by Fournette. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run with Fournette. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. On 2nd and 7, Minshew. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, Minshew to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
We own it. We own it.
They'll start on the ground here with Bernard. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down.
Squeeze,
And that one results in 35 yards.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again. Dalton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals.
Let's go, D, let's go. Hey, let's get there.
Operating from the gun, Dalton. And he's going to go down again. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Kevin Huber now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And they have had success on the ground, really as a team, doing well carrying the football. So maybe a little less pressure on his shoulders as the quarterback.
Any pressure he's carrying right now, that's self-inflicted, right? He's taking it on. He doesn't need to. Continue to do what you just said. Let everyone else carry the football. That's been effective. Don't have to worry about him throwing the ball in all the situations now. That's got to be a good feeling if he just relaxes and lets it keep coming to him.
Yeah, and relax and enjoy the 2nd quarter lead right now. That one complete. He finds Shark. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This quarterback now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Minshew, 1st and 10. Open man right side is Shark. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Ready? 70, Indy.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Shoot.
Throwing on first down is Minshew. That's out to his running back, Fournette. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has certainly been one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference, as the teams have already come back out onto the field for the second half. So let's get you back out as well to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter.
Down. 60 Pittsburgh.
Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up.
Second half beginning with a run from Fournette. And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. He's having a big game running the football, but that will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. They'll run it again with Fournette. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there, first down. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A handoff to Fournette. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming.
Here's a give to Fournette. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield, He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on third down. Looking to throw it, Minshew. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And
I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start here with a give to Mixon. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. From the gun, Dalton. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Willis. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Bernard. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. DJ Hayden, the corner, in on the tackle.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. They'll run again with Bernard. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Despite only needing one, Dalton to throw. That's complete. Bernard. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Andy Dalton now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. They'll run it here with Bernard. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around. Throwing on 2nd and long. Dalton, he gets this one to Boyd. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And the catch good. It's Eifert. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast, too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
Here's Kevin Huber now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Leonard Fournette making his way back out there. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Let's go now. HE Gator.
Oh, they go with a tight end carry. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game. And I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
They'll go play action here with Minshew. And able to find Conley. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Now Minshew. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Carlos Dunlap, the Florida Gator, chopping his way to the quarterback.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Here's Minshew. He'll get that to DeValve, the tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
Here we go.
So 3rd and long, here's Minshew. Into the hands of his tight end, Jeff Swain. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Logan Cook now, standing just outside his own goal line. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. The drive starts with a handoff to Bernard. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Again, here's Bernard. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
On 2nd down now, Bernard. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Bernard. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Bernard. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th. They'll try on 4th. Here's Dalton. And Eifert has it. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
He completes it to Tate. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. And it'll be Dalton again. On the screen, Bernard. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. And the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Three-quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right, and this score will stay right where it is. So another long try for 3 and another kick that comes up lacking.
Yeah, this isn't going to do any wonders for his field goal percentage, but you have to figure as a head coach that when you send a guy out there to try and kick from that distance, it's a 50-50 proposition at best.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. The linebacker, Preston Brown, brings him down.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
Again, it's Fournette. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Fournette, a first down carry. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Set, ready, 10-2 start.
Big stop, G. Big stop, let's go.
Big grip.
On second down, here's Fournette. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to face a third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Jaguars on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. Minshew throwing on third down. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 16. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first, and that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Set to Valve. There to make the grab. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the fourth quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like fourth quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it results in a touchdown for Jacksonville. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. And Dalton to throw. He's got his man. This is Tate. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. So Dalton now. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From midfield here, Dalton. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 33.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. This will be Dalton again. He completes it to Boyd. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Another chance for Dalton. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. The former All-Pro Marcel Darius picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Dalton here from the gun. Got his man. It's Eifert. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No 1st down. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. They'll try to pass on 4th down. Dalton. And this is incomplete. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
If you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Break. 52's the mic. Check. 52's the mic. He don't know no better. Let's go.
Now Leonard Fournette. Space to maneuver at the 40. And all the way up to the 45-yard line. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, 1st down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. A pretty good-looking run there on 1st down. That'll go for 9 yards, just short of the line to gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
On 3rd down, Fournette. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Here's Logan Cook now. He's been terrific so far. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
And here's a throw taken in by Boyd. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you.
Passing, it's Dalton. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Check 56. Blue Dan. Mike 50.
First and 10 for Dalton. Going right side here, and that's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Andy Dalton. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Dalton going to break the huddle, come up first and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To throw here, Dalton. And that going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Throwing again on second and 10. Dalton, open man, Erickson. That's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. And again, Andy Dalton to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Giovanni Bernard, 28 yards. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. And this is up and good. That'll make it a score now of 24-10. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a Bengals score. Two scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Got it. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
Now Fournette. Big Andrew Billings there on the stop. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down.
Set. 15, run. 15, run.
Looking to throw it. Minshew. He'll set up the screen to Fournette. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. This is Fournette. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And now the throw taken in by Chark. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go.
Come on, set. 10 Lobo. Hey, watch the ball, watch the ball.
On the draw, this is Fournette. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. That one complete. He finds Shark. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. Out of the gun is Minshew. Shark's got it left side. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
That goes in the category of a play that the defense is going to cherish and excites them. A completion, yes, you give up the pass, but no gain. I mean, that's exactly what you want on defense.
It sets up the 4th down. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that'll push the lead up to 17. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Now after the made field goal, back out Lambeau to kick this one off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And out now, here come the Bengals. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Gets it to his running back, Bernard. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set.
56 is the mic. Hey, keep it up.
A 1st down throw coming for Dalton. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. The linebacker, Miles Jack, able to knock that one away. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
2nd and 10. Dalton once more. It's caught inside the 25. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big pickup of 38. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. That'll bring up 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Watch QB drop.
To throw again, Dalton. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Intended for Giovanni Bernard. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 10.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. It's do or die for Dalton. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.